And we had the privilege of having the entire second floor of the building, and this is family medicine and specialty. And I worked with an amazing crew of people on this project, and they included a patient, Annie. Annie, where are you? Annie's a patient, and Lewis, IT. So between Annie and Lewis, we had two people who were really non-clinical to some degree, and had that fresh perspective, which was extremely helpful and very, very insightful. So we have the challenge of trying to provide space for 10 to 12 primary care providers and 5 to 6 specialists. And so when you start to think about that in terms of numbers, you want to come up with about 40 exam rooms and 4 or 5 procedure rooms. There was a lot of cutting and pasting and taping and everything else, and yesterday afternoon when we were down to the wire, we were running out of time, and the lab group was very helpful, and I want to thank them for all of their help. So I'll walk you through this because it looks a little complex. And you know, if any of you have been to Canyon Road, you know what the design is there. We have the barn door system. It's built on the Utah model. It's meant to be lean. It's meant to be efficient. And so we took a lot of those same ideas and put them into this. You also know, if you've been in the back workspace area, we have 15 exam rooms and 1 procedure room. And we have the cubicles along the back hall where the providers sit, and then the MAs in the middle, and it can get rather loud. And I thought, holy cow, if we've got 5 providers and you're going to have 15 or 16, what's the noise level going to be like? So what we decided to do with this project was break it up into neighborhoods and make pods where you could isolate staff, yet let them have the ability to walk around the perimeter of the building to communicate with everybody else, but let them have their own little workspace of 5 or 6 exam rooms, thinking that there would be 2 providers for 5 exam rooms, or 2 or 3 providers for 6 exam rooms, depending on how the layout is. So that's what we did, and we created these little neighborhoods, if you will. So I'll walk you through how it's going to work. The patients will come up the elevator, where they'll be met by a greeter who will direct them to their room, because they're going to do the self-rooming like we have at Canyon with the cards. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to do that. We thought we'd, you know, have like a mountain theme and a water theme or something like that. So the patient can only walk down this hallway and this hallway, or they can only go down this hallway or that hallway. They have no ability to get anywhere else in the building, so they can't really get lost. And they will come with their little card, and they'll find their little room, and they'll go into their room. And then the provider and their assistant will be in their little workstation. And if you think about the lean principles, it's all about doing more and walking less, working smarter. So when David was showing you the strings on his model on the wall where the providers are walking, I started to do that with string the other day, and I started to put a little green string for where the MAs and the providers are walking, and it was these tiny short little strings. And I thought, well, this doesn't make any sense. They're not walking anywhere. So if you think about that in terms of productivity, if you don't have to walk far, you can see 1 more patient a day. So you multiply that by how many pods there are, and you can expect more productivity from a layout like this. So anyway, the staff can get around the perimeter here as they need to, and everything that they need is here. We have a little break room here, and a little staff bathroom here, and then the patient restrooms on the long ends of the hallways, and then 2 restrooms up front. So this is a pretty innovative idea, and it's different from, I think, anything that you might have seen before.
Are there doctors' offices?
There are no doctor's offices here.
Woo!
That's a little bit of a scary concept. It was a little bit of a scary concept when I went from St. Joe's, where everybody has their own office, over to Canyon, where I moved into a little 6x7 cubicle. And now to think that you're going to move into a space where there's no office. But that's the way of the future. And that's not what patient care is about. And so there are a lot of facilities where there are no doctor's offices, and it works. So we're going to make it work here too.
So what are some of the issues that you had to address as a result, like the dictation room?
Well, the dictation room and privacy issues and things like that. And there are things called flexible panels, and the architects are going to work on that, where things can be moved around and can come down and can slide back and forth to give privacy if you need a phone call, but it won't be anything that's fixed and is anyone's space. Yeah, it's a little scary.
So the building needs an exercise room because we won't be walking.
Well, we saw that area on the 3rd floor where there was the zip line.
But we're not gonna be leaving.